How you doing? It's your boy Big Med at Essence Fest. I'm here with the lovely, the beautiful Niecy Nash. How you doing, my dear?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, you've been everywhere. I've been trying to talk to you. You've been on every TV show. We've been trying to talk to you about, first of all, your book, How to Fight Naked.
It's
Hard to fight naked. It's hard to fight naked.
There we go.
Let's just talk about that. First of all, how did you come up with that?
Well, actually, that was an alternate title. The original title was a little too racy for the cover of the book.
Right.
So we had to come up with something else. And I, in my relationship, I realized that fighting naked is very hard to do, literally and figuratively. You know, from a figurative standpoint, you know, when you are naked, you're vulnerable, you're exposed,
Right.
you're giving your truth.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then literally, I mean, honey, when the conversation get hot in the room, take off your shirt, ladies. Put lotion on your elbows. The climate in the room, you know what I mean, in terms of the anger, it'll be dialed down a little bit.
Now, let me ask you this. Your husband, Jay, when you decided to do this book, did you talk to him about it? And how did he feel about it when you came up with, I'm going to do a relationship book, and probably you're going to be in there a lot?
You know, my husband was extremely supportive. So much so that he actually wrote the epilogue in the book.
Okay.
You know, he gives a little from the male's perspective right there at the end. So we're in it together, thick as thieves. And I knew, and I told him, I said, when all of your friends read this book and find out what you're getting every day, you're going to be the most hated man in your circle.
No.
You will be envied by many.
Now, here's the thing. We're getting a lot of celebrities doing relationships books, like Steve Harvey did Think Like a Man. My thought was, I think these are better than actual doctors' books, because the doctors get a little too technical and things like that, when we just want it real. We just want the real thing. Is that kind of how you came at it, or did Steve actually kind of inspire you in some ways?
You know what? I'm a girl who has been in love with love since the day I came into the world. And I don't claim to be a love expert.
Right.
I'm just sharing my experiences as a woman who has been through it all. You know, from the uttermost to the guttermost parts of love, I have experienced it. And I'm just sharing and inviting women and men to think differently when it comes to matters of the heart. What inspired me to write the book was the fact that we struggle most with the very thing we were created for. We were created for love, yet
Right.
that's where we have the most problems.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I just think that oftentimes when you're trying to lay hold of your calling or your destiny, there are going to be challenges, because they will grow you, they will stretch you, they will make you better.
Right.
You know, if we knew in our 20s what we know now, well, we'll be a cold piece. You know, you know what I mean? Back then, we
I'm
would have,
still learning. I'm 30.
yeah, and what you know now,
Right.
what I'm saying,
Right.
you, when you're 40, you will say, if I knew what I knew at 30. So it's a process.
Right.
And I think we all have to go through it.
Now, you have Soul Man on TV Land.
Yes,
Tell me,
I am the soul woman behind the soul man.
Tell me how that process is going, because this is your second.
This is our second season, and Cedric the Entertainer plays my husband. And I will tell you, he said, this is a story about a man who was an R&B singer who left the church to become a pastor.
Right.
And I said, well, I was married to an R&B singer who left the church to become a pastor. Say what now? So it was like life and art imitating one another. And I signed on to do the project. And the one thing that really made the project attractive to me was not that it was so similar to my life, but it was that I got to play a woman who was in love with her husband. That was important. I don't like to see contentious relationships between man and wife in sitcoms. I think it's old-fashioned and outdated. And I think that we got to have a mirror for our children to see loving black couples, you know, trying to make it work. So that's what excited me and drew me to that project.
What else you got coming up?
When I leave here, I start a project for HBO called Getting On. It's a very dark comedy about women who take care of the elderly.
Dark comedy.
Yeah, and well, you know HBO don't do light and happy. Come on now, light and happy, that's what I'm doing on TV Land.
So you're a home nurse?
Actually, I work in a hospital in this series, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sitting down talking to us. I know you have to go. So, again, we have the Soul Man.
We have It's Hard to Fight Naked.
Hard to Fight
We have
Naked.
Getting On coming up.
We have HBO. You're just a busy woman. Everything's looking really good for you right now.
I'm a busy girl. God is good.
Yes, he is. Thank you very much.